Have you ever wondered why China warns the Philippines as the US and Japan enter the West Philippine Sea to deter China's aggression? In a world where borders are invisible lines drawn on maps, the West Philippine Sea has become a hotbed of intrigue and tension. We're seeing a complex geopolitical situation unfold where territorial disputes and international relations are creating a ripple effect that's being felt around the globe. Picture this. The West Philippine Sea, a region abundant with natural resources and strategic advantages, is a disputed territory claimed by several nations. Among these claimants is China, asserting sovereignty over most of the area, sparking a conflict that's entangling nations near and far. Now enter the Philippines, a nation that's standing up to China's presence in the region. Under the leadership of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., the Philippines is no longer playing it safe. Instead, it's challenging China's dominance, leading to escalating tensions and sparking a war of words and actions. But we don't see just a two-player game here. There are others on the chessboard too. The United States, a long-standing ally of the Philippines, and Japan, a close neighbor, are stepping into the fray. They're entering the West Philippine Sea, not just as spectators, but as active participants, aiming to deter China's aggression. Why is this happening? What's at stake for these nations? And more importantly, what's the driving force behind these actions? Is it just about territorial claims and sovereignty, or is there more to it? We're about to delve into these questions and more, but before we do, let's take a quick 3-second break. If you're intrigued and want to stay updated on this geopolitical chess game, hit that subscribe button and give us a like. What could be the underlying reasons for this geopolitical chess game? Keep watching until the end for the answer. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe and like our channel. It only takes 3 seconds. To comprehend the current situation, we must first delve into the historical context. So how did we get here? The West Philippine Sea, a part of the larger South China Sea, has been a hotbed of territorial disputes for centuries. It's a tale as old as time, where nations vie for control over strategic waterways and rich natural resources. But where does the story begin? The territorial disputes can be traced back to the early 20th century, when several nations started laying claims over different parts of the South China Sea, including the Spratly Islands and the Paracel Islands. These islands, though small and largely uninhabited, are believed to hold vast reserves of oil and natural gas. Their strategic location also makes them a crucial control point for one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. China, based on its historical 9-line map, claims almost the entire South China Sea, a claim that overlaps with those of several other nations, including the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan. The 9-line is a demarcation line used by China for their claims of the major part of the South China Sea. The contested area in the South China Sea includes the Paracel Islands, the Spratly Islands, and various other areas, including the Pratas Islands, the Macclesfield Bank, and the Scarborough Shoal. The situation escalated in the late 20th century as these countries started to assert their claims more forcefully. In the case of China and the Philippines, tensions have been further fueled by incidents such as the Scarborough Shoal standoff in 2012, where Chinese government vessels engaged in a tense face-off with Philippine Navy ships. These territorial disputes have not only strained the relationships between the countries involved, but have also drawn the attention of global powers. The United States, for example, has reaffirmed its commitment to defend the Philippines under their Mutual Defense Pact, further complicating the dynamics in the region. As you can see, history plays a significant role in shaping the present, but is history the only factor in play here? Now that we understand the historical context, let's delve into the role of external powers in this situation. What are the US and Japan doing in the West Philippine Sea? The United States and Japan, both being global powers, have significant interests in the West Philippine Sea. They are not merely spectators in the unfolding drama, but are actively involved in shaping the narrative. But what exactly are their roles? The United States has a long history of political and military alliance with the Philippines. The US has reaffirmed its commitment to defend the Philippines under their Mutual Defense Treaty. This commitment comes in response to China's growing assertiveness in the region. The US strategy, in essence, is to deter China's aggression and maintain a balance of power. Japan, on the other hand, has its reasons to be concerned. The West Philippine Sea is a vital shipping route for Japan. Any disruption in this region could significantly impact Japan's economy. Moreover, Japan has territorial disputes with China in the East China Sea. Therefore, Japan is keen on countering China's influence in the region to protect its interests. Both the US and Japan have been strengthening their defense ties with the Philippines. The US has been conducting joint military exercises with the Philippines, while Japan has been providing maritime security equipment to the Philippine Coast Guard. These actions are not merely gestures of goodwill, but are strategic moves aimed at deterring China's aggression. The involvement of these global powers is not without its complexities. While their presence might deter China's aggression, it could also escalate tensions in the region. The situation is akin to a high-stakes chess game, where each move could drastically change the dynamics. The involvement of these global powers certainly adds another layer to this geopolitical puzzle, but what does this mean for the Philippines? Caught in the middle of this power play is the Philippines. So where does the Philippines stand in all of this? Well, let's dive right in. The Philippines, under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., has been increasingly assertive in challenging China's presence in the South China Sea. This has led to a rise in tensions and the strengthening of security ties with the US and other partners, including Japan. The Philippines has accused China of aggression in the South China Sea, a stance that has drawn warnings from the Asian giant. But why this heightened assertiveness from the Philippines? It boils down to the country's commitment to upholding international law and safeguarding its territorial integrity. That's why the Philippines has not shied away from condemning actions it sees as aggressive or destabilizing, such as a Chinese rocket launch that dropped debris near a Filipino province. So where does the US fit into all of this? The Philippines and the US are bound by a mutual defense pact, and the US has reaffirmed its commitment to defend Filipino forces in the South China Sea. This support is a significant factor in the Philippines' ability to stand its ground against China's territorial claims. And let's not forget about Japan. As another key ally, Japan's entry into the West Philippine Sea is seen as a move to deter China's aggression. This adds another layer of complexity to the situation, but it also reinforces the support that the Philippines has in its stand against China. In the midst of these geopolitical power plays, the Philippines is also focused on strengthening its defense ties with other nations. A recent example is the signing of new security agreements with India during President Marcos's visit. The Philippines' position in this situation is certainly not easy. But what does the future hold for the West Philippine Sea? We've explored the past and the present. Now let's take a look at the possible future scenarios for the West Philippine Sea. The geopolitical chessboard is ever shifting, and the West Philippine Sea is no exception. As we gaze into the crystal ball, we see multiple potential outcomes, each shaped by the actions and reactions of the involved countries. First, let's consider the scenario of increased tensions. If the current trajectory continues, we may witness an escalation in the region. The United States and Japan could increase their presence in response to perceived Chinese aggression, leading to a tighter knot of contention. This could have global implications, potentially impacting trade routes and international relations. On the other side of the coin, there's the possibility of diplomatic resolutions. The nations involved might decide that the cost of conflict outweighs the benefits. Through negotiations and international arbitration, they could strive for a mutually beneficial solution. This would require each country to make compromises, but the reward could be sustained peace and stability in the region. Then there's the wild card scenario. Unforeseen events or shifts in global politics could alter the course of the West Philippine Sea dispute. A change in leadership, a global crisis, or a sudden shift in alliances could all dramatically reshape the landscape. Regardless of the scenario that plays out, the future of the West Philippine Sea will have far-reaching implications. It's not just about territorial claims or resources, it's about the balance of power in the Asia-Pacific region and the world at large. To answer our initial question, China warns the Philippines as the US and Japan enter the West Philippine Sea to deter China's aggression due to a complex mix of historical disputes, geopolitical interests, and strategic alliances. As we continue to watch this situation unfold, keep wondering, keep questioning. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content. Keep wondering. Don't miss out on future explorations and discoveries. Hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated with our new content. Your journey of wonder continues with every video. Stay connected and engaged on social media. Continue the conversation, follow us. Thank you for being a part of the Have You Ever Wondered community. Keep wondering, keep discovering. Until next time.